Hey everybody, so we're back for our final thoughts on City of Horror.
The horror. The horror.
In the city.
In the city of horror. There's lots of zombies, and they're gonna eat ya.
There is an inexorable amount of zombies in this
We
game.
ran out of zombies.
I can't
That's
believe
how
we ran out of
badly
zombies.
we
That's
would do it.
hilarious.
I can't believe how little impact
Well,
we
yeah,
did.
but we did kill a lot of humans. In fact, if you count, we killed 4, 8, 9. We killed
more humans
more
than
than 3 times as many humans as zombies.
But I think that's to do with how many cards you get given at the start. If you're very unlucky and all the
actually,
killing cards are in
I
there.
think it's because there's 2 zombies and only 1 human here.
Down.
I also think, because this was something that I think is quite a big difference between the A side and the B side for the Armory. On the A side, you are getting rid of cards you don't want for the chance to pick a new one. So if you've gotten some fairly junky cards as the rewards for the airlifts or from your main start deck, you can get rid of them. B side, you're stuck with them. So, I mean, we were a bit more conservative for a fair amount of the game, and then we just went,
But then that penalises you because on the A side, because if this was to ever blow up, you can't then ever go back into the armory to try pick up new cards. So if you could blow up the armory quite early in your game,
I think that's probably why it's got one more bomb explosion logo on it.
So whereas in this version you're kind of stuck with recycling the same cards except for the airdrops. And we did have 4 cards in the airdrops, but that only means that there's actually, out of the whole deck, which I think is 40 cards, out of the whole deck there's only 25 in play.
Which, I mean, we didn't really get any of the hard-hitting ones. I mean, we had the
chainsaw and the lawnmower.
No, but there's 4 shotguns, which are 2
Are there?
aside from the chainsaw and the special edition lawnmower. The most amount of zombies you can kill with one item is 2. Which I think is a little bit strange because some of the bombs you would expect to be like, and just obliterate everything.
Yeah, but I think the premise of the game is not to kill the zombies. The premise is to sort of try and survive, and more importantly, for your characters to survive.
I was going to say it's more to do with manipulation and persuasion.
But don't get me wrong, I get that.
Let me tell you, card of the match, alarm card. The amount of times threatening to have the alarm card, actually. Like, if I didn't have it and bluffing, that would have been great, but I did have it. But
I know, you used it against
me. It holds a lot of power.
Eventually, but yeah, just being able to say, like, well, I've got the alarm card and I'm going to dick you over with it if you don't
I think that
do what I want.
But
like, that's the real essence of this game, I think. It's sort of like, I can help you out or I can dick you over.
Well, no, but for me, like, that's part of the thing, is because it sends through zombies, there's no single card you could use to counter it other than the pepper spray. So, if someone's done that to you, you're going to spend minimum 2 cards of your own to dig yourself out of it, just using the weapons.
Well, it depends what kind of margin it makes. For example, if it's the hospital and there was no zombies there at all, a shotgun saves you.
Yeah, exactly.
But
if it was the church and there was 4 players there and no zombies, then it doesn't actually do anything at all. If there's 2 zombies, then you still only need to kill 1. So it's sort of it depends a lot on the margins, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's why the alarm conjures 3, but it doesn't conjure more. I mean, the kitten is far worse.
Well, can be.
Can be.
Yeah.
Because the kitten can move an entire horde.
Yeah, but
you can't control where it goes because that would be too strong.
No, and also the entire horde might not actually move depending on how much space.
Yeah, there's a 1 in 6 chance that kitten just fucks you.
Yeah, but then there's also like, you go 1 in 6 chance.
My stab wound.
Well, my eye's growing back, which is wonderful. It's itching like hell. Yeah. But the kitten even can backfire even if it doesn't go back to you. Like if you go, the kitten's gone back to the church, you're screwed. But it might go to the bank, but the bank's full of zombies. So
exactly. So
it bounces back
doesn't
again.
help either.
Yeah, that's true. The kitten becomes less useful towards the end of the game when the locations are filling up.
Yes.
It's kind of hard to threaten someone when there's already 16 zombies around them.
It's quite powerful at the start, though.
Yeah.
To try and get the upper hand at the start. Because I feel like I was on a bit of a back foot then because at the start, I lost 2 in the first round. So then I didn't have to concentrate on as many people, which was an advantage, but I'm down to 3 people already, and I can't use their special abilities.
Yeah, or their voting power.
Oh, their voting power, exactly.
Yeah. But then again, what happened was you kind of got sort of overlooked a little bit.
I don't think so.
I didn't forget about him. I was just slightly more concerned with what you were doing to me.
Because there was as the game progressed, I still lost. It was probably round 3 that I wasn't as. Round 2, I was still heavily targeted because of what was happening with me and you in the bank.
Well, that was your own fault. You did that to yourself.
Yeah, telegraphing your attacks is the worst way to do it.
Well, the thing is, you made the mistake of putting the second character in the bank, and then you tried to use the only leverage you had.
But by telling you about it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I mean, even though then I used the thief but I didn't use him to try and counter what you were doing. Like, I didn't expect to get the card that would blow up the water tower. Actually, because I thought Ollie would nullify that card with his punk before you could use it anyway. Yeah. I just used the thief because I thought he'll probably die, but having action cards is how you win. The more action cards you have, the better, really. Like,
and I was just unlucky that you took a really good one because I didn't have that good a hand of cards.
Yeah, I took his hideout or hide card, and then I had both hide cards and 2 characters that hide.
Yeah, no, it was brilliant.
It's great. But then I gave you one back eventually.
You did.
You nearly forgot to play one of them as well.
Oh yeah, that's true. I nearly forgot to hide the little girl. But then again, you were all ready to kill off one of your characters anyway.
I was like, so which one's going?
Is it
I'll eat this one.
Is it Tarquin or is it Tarquin?
But, so I mean, I think that, and you can't bluff without the action cards. Once you lose your action cards, all your teeth are gone.
Exactly.
Yeah, so because even the hint of a threat is gone.
Yeah, so, but if you've got action cards in hand, you can just be like, well, I'm going to set off the alarm, or I'm going to hide my character, or, you know.
I mean, even so much as going, I've told you what I've got, but I might have been lying, because there's no reason for me to keep. Yeah. I mean, I found it kind of funny with us that we did quite a civilized run through where we did keep to all of our agreements.
Well, it does say in the rule.
You don't have to.
In the rule book, that it's you're meant to.
Well, yeah. So what it says,
you can change it if you wish.
So it says in the rule book that if you're making a gentleman's agreement at the location, you should stick to it. If you're making a gentleman's agreement that concerns a future location, for example, save me here and I'll save you over there, that's not binding. But then it also says, or just fuck it, nothing's binding.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Which I think I would actually prefer because it's less complex.
I'd probably prefer it if there were more players.
To be like, fuck it, nothing's binding.
Yeah, because then it's
a lot more fluid.
With 3 people, you remember grudges a lot more because they're immediate and it's either you helped me or you
But
didn't.
also with 3 players, you're a lot more forced to consider like the leader, you know? It's like I was looking a lot at who's in the lead, who's the most threatening, who's got the most I was really thinking about who has the most action cards in hand. That was huge.
And that was you for a lot of the game.
Yeah.
And that was also the reason why I stole your card here, because you know, you had more action cards at the time and I thought you were ahead of Ollie.
Mm-hmm. Well, I had a lot in my hand because I generally had dross. And I was like, I can't play any of these. They're all rubbish.
The one good card.
Well, I actually think these 2 are good. It's just, I guess it's
not around 4.
Well, I think it's because we had fewer players. The backdoor and the running shoes would have come in a lot more handy if Michael hadn't lost like all of his characters at the start.
Yeah,
true story.
You know, because this one allows you to go in somewhere.
But that did prove useful for me for the church.
That's true.
Yeah,
and I felt very comfortable having it as a sort of a backup. And the running shoes allows you to change your movement card to something else,
so which
is also good.
When I was deciding who to kill up here, and I was umming and ahhing for hours about who to kill.
Oh yeah, the thief for the punk.
This was the 2 cards that Ollie and Mike offered me. Ollie offered me the back door, and Mike offered me the running shoes.
So I should have offered you the back door. My thief might have lived.
Indeed.
The Purple Panther.
The Purple Panther. Because I already
You live and you learn.
some running shoes in my hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wanted to keep the back door more. I thought it'd be more useful to me.
It wasn't actually any use for me because the only places that we'd need to use it, I already had 2 people in.
Mm-hmm. So that's why I went for Ollie.
I was thinking like and
there was me thinking I was a master negotiator.
in the
and also Mike was winning at the time, I think.
Maybe. I think it's...
We had more characters alive.
Yeah, it's very close. So what did you guys think of the game?
I liked it. It's quite novel, and the fact that it's more focused on getting through the night as opposed to actually succeeding at anything.
Mm.
I mean, I did find it a bit weird that in 2 games we've played, we've not gathered food once.
Yeah, I was going to say the crossroad and the... But I feel like the thing is the game is 3 to 6 players. So I feel like the crossroads and the food probably come into play a lot more
when there's more, because there's not
more
as many
players.
Not as many.
But it's just considering you can only move one character once per turn.
Exactly.
It seems that you're like, oh, so I'm going to go to the crossroads. So now I've got to use a turn to get the food.
No, but I don't think anyone actually chooses to go to the crossroads. I think that they wind up getting stuck there.
Exactly, because when you've got more people,
because
there's a lot more important.
Everybody has fewer characters, but they all still have. There will still be more characters. Like we had 15 here, and I think that
there's a lot more option choices of people trying to decide which location they want to go to.
Yeah.
And if everyone wants to go to the same location, there's going to be a lot more people.
I guess.
Yeah, it's like because we're only moving 3 characters per turn, but if there's 5 players, you're moving 5 characters per turn. And if everyone decides to go to the church or the bank or something, you're gonna have a bunch of characters bouncing off the crossroads. You know, and then
and that's when you're
only one character in the crossroads will die, and the players don't even choose.
That's when you want to use these torches,
or the special agent,
or
like that.
The bank.
So I feel like the crossroads in the center present a whole mechanic that we didn't really get to experience because there was fewer of us.
Yeah.
And I feel like also what didn't happen a lot was that was the sort of vying for space in the locations. It happened a little bit. It certainly influenced our decisions a little bit, but I don't think it was nearly as big a factor as it would have been with more players.
More players, exactly.
But what I did like a lot was, and what I noticed came out a lot was the card play and the bluffing. Like the action cards was huge in our game. It pretty much was all about bluffing with the action cards and sort of persuading players to side with side against one another and sort of.
Because I kept saying to you, I haven't got anything decent in my hand. I did. I just didn't want to give it away.
Well, yes, exactly. And I think that
reverse bluffing.
Reverse bluffing. Indeed.
But I feel like that was. I feel like, although I haven't played the game with more than 3, I feel like it would scale up well.
Yes.
I think it's one of those ones where.
But I think there's
mechanics just become more important.
There's whole mechanics that aren't present in the 3-player game really, like the zombie leader and the food.
Yeah, the movement.
Specifically the crossroads.
I mean, there are 3. I'd argue there are 3 locations on this board directly tied to that whole mechanic, because you've got the bank; its entire effect is moving that along. Mm-hmm. You've got the torches, which are entirely about moving that. You've got the secret agent, which is entirely about moving that. Food, which in this version is entirely what the church needs. So to use the church at all, you must have food, which means you must have been at the crossroads.
But being unable to unexhaust our characters was really interesting.
I managed to find a way twice.
Yeah, well, you had the energy drink.
Which is a good card, I like.
Yeah, it's a really good card. Obviously, we didn't get it. And I never once went to the armory, so I couldn't even go to the discard pile to recover it.
Nope.
I did have the businessman, but I exhausted him for medicine, so I couldn't even use his ability, which is the same thing. But I was really thinking throughout the whole game, how can I keep these 2 kids alive without hiding them? Because the minute I hide them, they go from 5 to 2 points.
Yeah. Well, and that's quite an extensive drop.
Yeah, it's the biggest drop in the game. The blonde has
5 to 3.
Yeah, 5 to 3.
But her ability is a massive hindrance.
What are the old people? They're 5 to something.
I thought they were 4 to something.
No, the old people are 5 as well.
Oh, are they?
I think they're 5 to 3. Let's have a quick look at the elders.
The elders.
The elders, yeah. So Granny is 5 to 2.
So she's the same as the kids.
But Granny's power is while it's shit that she can't move, on the other hand, being able to move her at any time can be really potent. Because you can move her in the after she's already voted somewhere to somewhere else and vote again. And then Grandpa's ability is much worse, but he's a 5 for 3.
I love the fact though that her ability is I could vote twice, and his thing is I don't get to vote once.
Well, he gets to vote one time.
Yeah, ever.
Yeah, ever.
I think she nicked his postal vote form.
But there's some also other really strong characters. I think the student is quite a strong character if you're able to utilize her.
What's her points?
It's 3 to 2.
Okay.
Yeah. I think you'll find a lot of the characters who are sort of worth marginally less points.
Yeah.
Have a smaller decrease. I mean, sorry, the points cost and the decrease is obviously balanced with their ability, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's mainly because if it wasn't, you'd just be like, right, either you're not worth keeping rested, or I never ever want to use you.
Well, I really liked it.
I liked it.
I would agree with both of you. I liked it as well.
If I would say one complaint, it would be that even after looking at the rules quite intensely, there's a lot of questions where we kind of have
the
to
rule
go,
book is not well written.
Is
the balance of
intensely
probability.
confusing.
Like, so it's got paragraphs that directly contradict each other.
There's terrible text. It's got typos. There are also character cards that have different names to the rules references. Do you have the rule book there, Michael?
I do. Where's Rex and where's the guard and where's
so there's a character called the Guard and Rex, who are renamed the Vigil. The special agent is called the Secret Agent. There are points where there's just a typo. But then, for example, like what was it? We were trying to work out the church.
Yes.
I think it was the text on the church, which just says, discard an action card from your hand to flip any of your characters back to its rested side. Discard an action card from your hand to flip any of your characters back to its rested side. I mean, for a start, you can't go from plural to singular tense like that.
No.
It just doesn't make sense. And
so then it's like...
So we were like, so any character at the church or any character anywhere? And also, any characters in any number of characters or just one? And... in the end we decided, and I think this is the correct interpretation, what it means is any of the characters that you have can be flipped back to their rested side when you discard a card there. But
only one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we had to interpret it, and we settled on, because it does say characters. Anyway, the point is that it is a bit of a... For a game that's not actually very complicated, it took a long time to learn.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate.
That's one of its plus points. I think it's not a particularly complex game.
Yeah.
But it's got to be once you get going. That's the problem.
Well, what's complex is the discussion, the actual movement and play, is, and how you do those actions is not complicated. But learning how to do them in the first place is incredibly complicated because of the failures in the rule book.
Yeah. But I think if you're learning with someone who knows how to play, you'll be fine.
Exactly.
I did find it funny in the rule book that they've printed the rule, and then immediately under it there's a classification that explains what the rule actually means. And I looked at that and I thought, this is in the rule book. Why didn't you just print the rule better? If you immediately had to clarify what you've just written.
Well, I quite like the examples actually.
No, the examples were good, but there's also classification or clarification.
Yes.
And those are effectively, you just read the rule, now because we don't think you've understood it, this is what
Here's
that
an
means.
explanation.
And we'll just put that.
Why not just write that as the rule?
Yeah. Don't just write it properly the first time.
Yeah.
But you've also got obviously a whole bunch of different characters that you can play as, and those are randomly distributed.
Yeah.
So you're going to have a number of random...
I like that aspect, and I like the whole randomness of which action cards you get at the start as well. So
I like the drafting element though. I think I much prefer the idea of the draft to the idea of...
That's what I meant.
You'll get one of a certain
kind. I would certainly recommend to anyone who's picking this up, just skip straight over to the expert levels card rule where you draft instead of just dealing 7 cards and living with it. Or, and a number of cards based on the number of players. But I was just going to say very quickly that all of the locations are double-sided, and then you've got all of these cards as well, and there's I think four of these in each deck. So
there's definitely a lot of.
So there's a lot of replayability. Yeah, there's a lot of there's enough randomization that it's going to be a little different every time, and I think that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that works in its favor. It's not overly random.
No, and it's not a particularly long game. It says 90 minutes on the box, doesn't it? So it's not a game that you're going to be here for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah, and to be fair, 90% of that time is you argue with your other players.
Yeah.
So if you had people that were actually quite decisive and once they've made their mind up, they're in place, you could probably cut that down quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I agree. I like the way the first player token moves to the player who last lost a character.
I love the fact
that sort of like evens it out.
I love the fact that the token's the zombie survival guide.
Yes.
I just love that. I was like, there's a fantastic little bit of detail.
Mm-hmm.
Especially as well, because like as you say, you get it for your character dying. Like that would have been a good book for them to read before they met their untimely doom.
Mm-hmm. And I like the idea that you can sneak peek at the invasion card, because that can.
Yeah,
that's cool. That's really cool.
That's a really positive and powerful.
The B side of that's a bit underwhelming.
Yeah, the B side of the water tower allows you to look at someone else's movement card. No, it doesn't. It allows you to choose and reveal your movement card after everybody else. In effect, making sort of going last, kind of like going first.
Well, all it is you guarantee you manage to get to where you want to be.
No, that's not true.
If there's not got the first player token. Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, the thing is, you'd inherently have to move last, so you would let everyone else move and then move. And if the location you want to go to fills up, you can't go there.
Yeah, so you might still end up at the crossroads.
It means that you're definitely not going to be bounced into the crossroads, but because you can just choose a different location to go to, but it means you might not get to the location you want to go to.
Mm-hmm.
And so I like actually the side A that lets you look at these, because that presents a really interesting
tactical decision.
Yeah, exactly, and sort of a really interesting sort of strategy, and also the fact that the water tower can be blown up is great. It's because
came bloody close.
It did. I tried to give it a good go.
Yeah, exactly.
You both did.
So it means being there gives you a big advantage, but it's also very dangerous.
Yeah, I did find it funny on our practice game. Mike had the granny, and he put her on the watchtower, knowing she was never ever going to be dislodged, barring it got blown up.
Yeah, well, if I think if she was ever really in danger of being blown up, I would have just exhausted her and moved her.
Yeah.
One thing that does bother me, and that we encountered in this particular playthrough, was that you need a maximum of 48 zombies, and there aren't 48 zombies. There's 40. I mean, why not just give us 8 more zombies?
Give it exactly.
I mean, I appreciate that there might be a limited amount of punch board and stuff like that, but just put in another sheet.
I was gonna say, for the sake of if there's the possibility that all zombies could be out, and it's a maximum of 8 in each location.
Yeah. It seems very weird. It seems kind of contrary.
Yeah, illogical for it not to give that maximum amount.
Yeah, I think they should have given us more zombies.
But yeah, I mean, I like it overall.
The artwork's good. It's evocative. It puts you in the moment. I have no.
It's very clear.
It's very clear. Yeah, the iconography is clear. It's a bit annoying that the board is in so many pieces, but I get it because it needs to be flipped around. One thing, the water tower, when I got that, didn't fit together properly, so I had to use a craft knife to cut it up. That was annoying.
And then these are changeable. The armory doesn't have to go in one, does it?
No, so they can go anywhere. So
so on the topic of replayability, the corners are interchangeable, so the order in which they activate every round can alter.
The only things that are fixed are the crossroads and the water tower.
Yep.
Yes.
The crossroads and the water tower are always 5 and 6, and I think that's intentional because they always go last.
Yeah.
And then again, the water tower, you're never going to have supplies drop there.
Nor in the crossroads.
No, they're always dropped in one of the 4 main buildings. Or 2 of them sometimes.
Yeah, yes. I mean, that is... I think we got a bit unlucky with that we kept going back to the same 2 places, but...
Yeah, they dropped in the armory every single round.
How many variations for each time is there?
Four cards for each.
Yeah, so that's still a lot of possibilities for each individual game as to what will come up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you? So would you play again?
I would.
I would, but I'd probably want to play with people that had already played. I think this would be
It's not really a
challenge
game.
to get new people into.
Well, I think people who have already played this have a distinct advantage over people who haven't played it as well. So you're obviously going to have those people.
Yeah, you'd have to take care to explain it. But then again, I think it would also. I think I agree with you. Definitely knowing the cards gives you an advantage, but I think it would somewhat self-regulate. Because if you've got 3 players that have never played before, the one who has played before, they're going to gang up on it.
That's true.
Or they're all going to be like, "Oh, help me, and I'll give you this item."
Yeah, exactly. I think the sort of the table talk, the table negotiation will sort of balance it out.
Yeah, you find out who the alpha dog in your social circle is.
Mm-hmm.
You just factor it in and then mitigate against it by teaming up against that person.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
But yeah, I enjoyed it enough definitely to play it again.
It definitely hinges a lot on the group, the quality of the group.
Yeah, but I mean, I'd say that's true of a lot of board games now. Is the core mechanics can be amazing, but if you're playing with people that you either don't really enjoy playing the game with, or are just being annoying,
We'll just play
Then it just spoils
Caverna.
it.
Caverna
Yeah.
Dominion. Very little player interaction.
Yeah.
you know what's got even less player interaction? Solitaire.
It's very true.
Yeah. Or solo Gloom of Killforth. Or solo solo Spirit Island.
It's that moment he was playing Love Letter by himself and losing.
That sounds just like the most boring thing ever. So anyway.
Are you a wizard? Damn it, I've lost.
Damn it! Turn one again.
So I mean, there's not. So I was. It's funny actually because I was looking for a Halloween game to play on the channel, and basically like there's not that many horror board games, and there's even fewer horror board games that aren't about zombies or Cthulhu. And in the end, I settled on this just because a good friend of mine who plays board games recommended it, and I was like, well, if he likes it, it must be good because he plays a lot of games. And
Turns out he was just lying to you.
no, I think it was really good. I really liked the way it felt like The Mist, you know, like rather than
Yeah.
And The Mist isn't even a zombie film, but it felt, you know, like something like that rather than
It was definitely a survival horror rather than a I'm going to just get a big gun and start blasting.
it feels like human drama rather than, you know, just sort of like zombie side, which is just, you know, kill all the zombies.
Although it's very much the Game of Thrones style of human drama. You are expendable. I am pregnant. You are expendable.
Yeah, but that's cool. That's like horror, man. Like you know,
anyone can die.
anyone can die at any minute.
At any time.
There is real danger.
Yeah, and it's focused on the player interactions. It's focused on how we treat one another. It's focused on our negotiations, and the zombies are just kind of there in the background, providing a sort of a threat.
They just want to be
I do believe that by the end of the game they were definitely in the foreground.
Well, yeah, but I mean, even so, even at the end of the game, you know, it was
We spent
still
more
us
time.
killing one another.
Yeah, we spent far more time shooting each other.
And I think that's great. I really like that a lot. I think that that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's our Halloween game this year.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah. Shorter than Fury of Dracula. Our apologies. But you know.
Are you apologising that it's not as long as Fury as Dracula?
Maybe that's a good thing.
You took a long time to find.
And then he diverted my goddamn train. Master Vampire Hunter.
Yeah.
Thank.
You go over there. I'll fight the girl.
Just thank you, John Seward.
Yeah, John Stewart. That's right.
That was basically.
Yeah. And some very lucky dice rolls.
He's the Prince of Darkness. He's not the Prince of Luck.
It's true. I wasn't zombie of luck today though.
Yeah. But
the Rasta and his 2 children lived to.
But I was well fed, so it was fine.
No,
I'm not hungry.
The Rasta took the 2 children who were never the same again, having witnessed most of the people they know eaten. But we'll pretend it's a happy ending. You know.
Like
The Last of Us.
Fine.
Just finished playing The Last of Us about 20 minutes before the official end of the game, and it's a good story.
Yeah.
Don't. No spoilers. I mean, I'll never play it because I don't have a PlayStation, but other people might.
I don't believe I did spoil it.
Good. Well, we'll be back tomorrow with an entirely different adventure. We'll be back next year if I can find a horror board game that's not Call of Cthulhu.
Otherwise.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Well, there's a whole year for a game to be developed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but...
Get designing, peeps.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, that's right. It's all we ask is that you design a great horror board game that's not about zombies or Cthulhu.
Yeah, so basically avoid the main horror tropes. I mean, even vampires are going to be risky.
I was going to make my joke about how I'm not actually a zombie.
What are you?
A werecorpse.
Oh, God, that's just terrible.
Alright. Well, now that I'm suitably beaten to death, thanks so much for watching.
Hand me my chainsaw.
And, happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween.
See you tomorrow.
See you later, guys.